Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a bit. Well, not too long, but I finished my fast on day 35. I was feeling so good. Honestly, I've never felt so good as I did when I was on this fast. And definitely there's a lot more space in my body, a lot more room to breathe, a lot more room for light. There's been so many shifts. So incredible. Despite moving through, my reality, my external reality, and what I'm moving through right now is there's been a lot of intensities. And still, the juice fast really carried me through a lot of portals that could have been a lot more intense and uncomfortable, things that I was moving through that I moved through a lot more easily because I was on this juice fast. Anyway, so now I'm integrating back into what feels like life. I felt like I was floating above my body most of the time. I just felt so like in my own little world, in my own reality, which was nice. I always feel like I'm in my own reality in some sense, but yeah, now I'm feeling like more grounded in my body and tapped into a different reality, tapped more into the physical. And just to share a little bit about what I'm moving through now is today a lot of grief. I've been feeling a little disconnected or a little far away from myself. A lot of energies in my field that are not mine, that are whatever, energies that I am in the process of alchemizing. And yeah, I've been noticing just a lot of grief with how, feeling really far from myself, far from home, homesick, but homesick for myself, homesick for feeling home within myself. And, this always comes when this feeling comes, I've had this before, obviously. And it comes when I'm not listening to myself enough. I'm not spending enough time alone. I'm not spending enough time in nature. I feel best when I'm 2 hours in nature every day, minimum, and have my time for my prayer morning and night, my meditation. I'm usually 2-3 hours on my mat in the morning, and when I don't get that, I can miss a day here and there, but I'm still quite attached to my practice. And it just helps me stay in my center and keeps me balanced so that, when I go out in the world, as I like to say, before the world has its way with me, I like to be as rooted and centered in my heart and in my center so that when life hits, when the outside world hits, when I step out my door, when I step into the world, I don't feel like I just get washed away, by all the energies, because I am so sensitive. So I got a little swept away lately, and just even this little blip of sitting in nature right now, of coming to drive to the forest today. I was I just need the forest, and I need to, my friend has a trailer that I've stayed in lots in the forest, and I was I just need to sleep in the trailer tonight with no stimulation from the city, with no talking to anyone. Obviously I'm doing this video, not planned. And I just need to go into the forest. I was feeling desperate, like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I just need the forest. Like, my life depended on me just getting here. Anyway, so here I am. And just, like, even though when I walked out onto this, like, this walking trail leads up to this, like, beautiful, beautiful view. And just the moment I even just got out here and saw the sunset, I was just like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And it was just like, I felt my essence. I felt me a little bit. Because I feel like I've been drowning in everything that's not me lately. Getting a little caught up in the currents of other people's processes, emotions, energies, and not listening and creating enough space and time for myself to come home to myself. Anyways. It's so easy it's just crazy how quickly we can get lost. Like, just like, as I was walking here, I was just like, how did I get so far from myself so fast? How did I get pulled off kilter so fast? And it's like, it is kind of like jumping into a really fast current when you make a decision that's out of alignment, or you do something that's out of alignment that your intuition warns you against, or your intuition is telling you something, your body's telling you something, but you keep ignoring it. And you do one little shush and you're like, oh, it's not a big deal, and you shush, and then it's like you shush a little bit more, you shush a little bit more, you shush that inner voice, you shush that intuition, you gaslight yourself. And then before you know it, you're miles away from yourself, and you're like, you've totally lost yourself again. And it's like, how did that happen? It's like you get totally sucked into this vortex, this chaos vortex, where you've totally lost your center, your truth. Because when you shush your truth, your inner voice, you lose yourself. You are the truth. How you lose yourself is by not listening and speaking your truth. So this has been like a really good reminder as I'm reflecting on all the little ways I was not honoring my truth, not speaking my truth, not listening to my intuition, and also feeling a lot of almost shame, or like just feeling bad, like feeling guilty, or just like feeling more heartbroken that after so much devotion to myself and so much inner work, that I still find myself doing stuff like this. I'm like, man, Alyssa, have we not learned so many times the hard way? Do we not know better now to love ourselves, to listen to the intuition, to speak our truth always, to live by our truth always, even if it doesn't make sense, like I know this now. So to like see that come back to show its face again, I was like, whoa. I'm just like, okay, let's drop this for good. I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't want to dim my light. I don't want to dull in my truth to make it more digestible for anyone. I don't want to self-sacrifice my truth to make other people more comfortable. I don't want to cut parts of me out to fit into other people's lives anymore. And these are all little things that I was doing over the last couple weeks. Just these tiny little micro things that I thought weren't a big deal, or I wasn't even really noticing. I was so busy, and then picking the tiny little misalignments threw me off my center. And then, when you're not listening to your inner voice that's telling you something and you're going against it, then that inner voice gets quieter, and then before you know it, you're like caught in this spiral, this chaos storm, it feels like. And you can't even really hear your inner truth because you've been shushing it. So, I've been working through that. And then working through showing self-love and compassion and self-forgiveness of, I'm learning, we're all learning. We're on this journey together, and we're not going to be perfect all the time, to show ourselves some grace when we trip, when we fall back into an old pattern. That there's a perfection in it all, It's all God. All the people, places, all the things that come in to see just reflect where we're still compromising, to reflect for us where we're still willing to show us. Are you still willing to dim your light? Are you still shushing your intuitions? It's all here to help to call us higher into our truth, our divinity. It's all here to help us grow. So it's never about victimizing ourselves or demonizing anyone or anything outside of ourselves. It's all just reflection. It's all just opportunity, gifts to grow, to expand, to rise, to remember. That's what we're all here to do, just to remember. We're all just playing characters for each other, to support in that, so that we can return to oneness, the remembrance of who we are and why we're here, which is we all have this desire to return to oneness, to return to our truth, whether we know it or not. It's our deepest desire, because it's the truth of who we are. We're all searching for God, which is us, our oneness, to merge with God, Goddess within us. And most of us spend a lot of our years of our lives, some people their whole lives, searching for God in all the wrong places. And when you get glimpses of it, and you feel it, and you're in that bliss state of being just totally merged with God, with the divine, where you disappear and you are the divine. It's ecstasy. It's a love that fills. Something just was in the bushes behind me. It's a love that fills you, that feels like it's just overflowing from within you, that it's overwhelming. Oh, it's a bird. And then, when you get moments where you fall off the wagon, so to speak, and you get caught in a story, or you get caught in an old pattern, or something pulls you into a different energy. And that energy is always there. That peace, that divine bliss, that ecstasy of the divine, of that total surrendering into the divine is always there. But sometimes it feels like it's so far away, like it's not accessible. And once you've experienced that bliss, let's call it heaven, because it is. When you experience heaven, what can create suffering is reaching for heaven when you feel like you're not there. When you feel like you've fallen off the wagon, for lack of better words, and you know now what heaven feels like, and you just want to get back there. And that's kind of like an addiction to a drug, you know, you just want to get back there, you just want to get back there. But when we get so attached to that feeling, which is the truth of our natural state of being, which is the truth of who we are. But the truth is we're, you know, maybe eventually we do stick in that state of being. That is New Earth. I feel like that's what we're moving into, or that will be our natural state of being all the time. But that's just not the reality right now for most people. At least it's not for me. I experience those states of being, of bliss, those higher, when you're tapped into that consciousness and you're just like, I'm everything and I feel everything as me, and I am love and I love everything as myself. And it's, of course you just want to live there forever. And it's hard not to attach to that. So when you're not in that, or you're not experiencing that, and you know, you're going through a lot, you're moving through a lot of energies, and you compare what you're moving through now to that state of being, and you judge it as, this isn't, I don't want to feel this, I want to feel that, and you know, resist what is now, what you're moving through, even though it might be denser, harder, uncomfortable, whatever. You create suffering for yourself. And that's part of what I've been moving through too, is like not judging or trying to force my way out of what I'm moving through now, and not judging myself for, you know, or feeling like I'm being punished because I didn't trust my intuition, whatever, and then it's like, oh man, I'm being punished, like I fucked up, whatever. To be like, no, this is just part of it. We fall and we get up and we learn. We fall and we get up and we learn. And we keep getting better and we keep getting better and we keep getting better. We're learning. We're learning how to love ourselves. And that's a big deal. And that takes a lot of courage. And it's not always easy. And we just have to keep doing it. Some days we're gonna fuck up. It's kind of like being a parent, you know, you're gonna do your best, but some days you're gonna say the wrong thing. Some days you're gonna not have very much patience. Some days you're not gonna be a very good listener. Some days you're gonna lose your temper. That's really what that's the same thing as loving ourselves. We're reparenting ourselves. And yeah, it's not always gonna be perfect. We're gonna mess up some days. No matter how much inner work we do, we're gonna fuck up some days. We're gonna fall off the wagon. We're gonna say the wrong things. We're gonna shush our inner voice sometimes. And we're working on it. We're doing the work. We're showing up. We keep doing better. We're learning, but we're doing the best that we can. Or I hope that we're doing the best that we can. You know, I think that I'm doing the best that I can. Every day. This moment right now is it's just so flippin' magical. Look at this. Clear night sky, not a single cloud in the sky. I feel like I'm in a painting right now. The moon, I mean, this is not even doing it justice. And then like, come on. And this is why I come into nature, because it just like pops me back into my truth and my remembrance of everything's okay. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be alive, blessed to be breathing in this beautiful, fresh air, blessed to be seeing this beautiful sight. Anyways, I hope that whatever you're moving through on your journey right now, you move through easefully and you give yourself the love and grace that you need, that you deserve. And that you know you're never alone in this. You're never alone in this. It's quite impossible to be alone in this journey. Because we're all one. We're all doing this together, and beyond just the fact that we're all one is we have so much support from seen and unseen realms, you know? From nature herself. And we are nature. Muji always says, life takes care of life. And if you aren't life, what are you? You know, you're life. We are life. And life takes care of life. So, to relax a little bit and let yourself be taken care of. That everything's working out, even when it seems like it's falling apart. It's really falling into place. Anyways, I should go because it looks bright out here, but it gets pretty dark in the woods, and I have a decent walk back. So, hoping you all have a beautiful night. And yeah, see how dark it got already? She dark in there. Anyways, much love, fam. Chat soon.